At number 10, we have former acting couple Demi and Ashton Kutcher. The questionable age gap at the time of their relationship was already convincing enough for many to believe that their marriage would not make it to the end of time. The two met back when Demi was 25 and Ashton was 41, but the older star had 3 children closer in age to him than Demi was. With this fact in mind, there were also rumors of infidelity on his part and opening up their relationship to others that certainly did not help keep their marriage afloat. It's been reported by various sources that the most surprising outcome of the marriage ending is just how long it took for them to call it quits. Yikes. At number 9, we have another acting twosome who announced they were splitting yet again, at no real surprise for fans. Apparently the ex-spouses were having an insane amount of marital issues for years before their separation. Alongside rumors of infidelity in their relationship, there were also apparently the tripling up of Ben's gambling and drinking problems. It probably didn't save their situation once Ben announced in his 2013 Oscar speech how he and Jennifer were working on their marriage at that point. Surely you may not all be that shocked to know, with all that information, that the two revealed the end of their marriage in 2015. At number 8, we have actress Gwyneth Paltrow and English singer-songwriter Chris Martin, who didn't make the public announcement that they decided to separate until 2014, following 10 whole years of marriage. There were very obvious signs between them that indicated they might not have been seeing a long future together, and it seems fans were undoubtedly right on the money. Not one of them was caught off guard due to the fact that they would not pose together on red carpets nor discuss one another in interviews they gave prior. In fact, when Gwyneth discussed her marriage in interviews, it was only to explain how hard it was for her to be married. Reportedly, there were cheating rumors involved with them, and they were broadcasted as another Hollywood couple with an open marriage. Regardless, the very obvious signs that things were donezo were clearly written in the stars long before the divorce papers were signed, stamped, and finalized.
At number 7, we have Paul McCartney and Heather Mills. Now, Paul McCartney's divorce to Heather Mills cost him $48.7 million. The couple would call it quits in 2006, however their divorce wasn't complete until 2008, and once they finalized their divorce, it came to a hefty penny for Paul. When all was said and done, Paul would have to pay Heather $48.7 million, and on top of that, Heather would receive $70,000 a year for child support, which would later leave Paul to this day to say that his marriage to Heather was the biggest regret of his life. Ouch. To make matters worse, the media was constantly getting involved, and in 2007, while Heather was trying to speak at a charity campaign fundraiser, a reporter asked her if she was the woman that took Paul's money. At number 6, we have Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. In 2006, Robin decided to separate from her husband Mel after Mel was caught driving under the influence. At the time, Mel and Robin didn't have a prenup agreement, which meant she was entitled to walk away with at least half of his earnings that he made in the last 30 years they were married. With Mel's net worth being only $850 million at the time, Robin would be entitled to receive about $425 million. In addition, she would also pick up 50% of the pension benefits that Mel built up during the 31 years of marriage. During this settlement, it outlined his ex-wife would also get half of his film rights, and she was entitled to a split of his Directors Guild of America pension and half of the benefits he accumulated through their production company. At number 5, we have Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen. Now, Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen had a bumpy marriage, and Denise decided to pull the plug on their marriage when she was only a few months pregnant with the couple's second child. In 2006, their divorce was finalized, however, the couple hadn't signed a prenup. Considering Charlie appeared on 2.5 Men, making millions during their marriage, Charlie would be responsible to pay 50% of the earnings and assets made from their marriage. However, Denise has claimed that she never saw any of the sitcom money, and Charlie has over $450,000 in unpaid child support. According to several inside sources, Charlie pays Denise $80,000 to cover the cost of their $2, and he also pays the same amount to his other ex-wife, Brooke Mueller, for their 2 children. However, Charlie's once $220 million net worth is no longer in the state it was, and most of it went towards his risk behavior rather than to his spouses and children. At number 4, we have James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. After being married for 18 months, James and Linda decided to call off their marriage, and their divorce would cost James a hefty penny. Now, Linda would come forward to say that she and James had decided to split due to James having an affair with an actor from the Titanic, while James was a film producer on the set. The love triangle would ultimately dissolve James's and Linda's marriage, and in 1999 the couple's divorce would be finalized and Linda would receive $50 million in a settlement.
At number 3, we have comedian John Mulaney and his ex-wife and artist Anne-Marie Tendler. The couple shared a 6-year-long relationship and a dog prior to the end of their romantic ties. John would very frequently make jokes regarding their relationship during his comedy stand-up routines, including one in 2018 where he referred to Anne as a dynamite female dog during his Kid Gorgeous special. We'll never know if the jokes on top of the other BS became too much for Anne in the end, but the pair officially headed for Splitsville in July. Their divorce announcement followed a few short months after John was admitted into rehab for substance abuse back in December 2020. After this, he would go on to date actress Olivia Munn, where he continued to stir up relationship news drama. The most shocking thing for fans of Olivia and John was the announcement of their then soon-to-be welcome child, born in November 2021. John has headlined just about every pop culture news outlet you can think of nowadays for the way he broke things off with Anne. At number 2, we have formerly married twosome Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. These two public icons are very heavily part of Hollywood's former it couples because everybody loved them. However, even with this, it seems that there were a few fans who weren't all that surprised by their eventual separation. In 2018, their divorce was announced from the original marriage in 2009, and Anna has been vocal about feeling as if she was forced to split with Chris after 8 years of marriage, but she has since refallen in love with cinematographer Michael Barrett. Chris is currently married to Hollywood royalty Catherine Schwarzenegger. Still, Anna and Chris first met during a 2007 table read where they're sharing starring roles in the film Take Me Home Tonight. In the end though, Anna became angry over fans' reactions to her split with Chris and the picture-perfect family image she tried her hardest to create that crumbled right before her eyes. At number 1, we have the world's least shocking couple to divorce to date, Miss Kim Kardashian and her rapping ex-husband Kanye West. With the spiral both their relationship and Kanye himself was headed into, it wasn't a shock to Kimye fans when the former celebrity couple decided to part ways. It seems non-shocking ends to marriages run deep in the Kardashian family too, as of course we need to honorably mention Khloe's failed marriage with her previous partner Lamar Odom. Still, Kim and Kanye have been dubbed as today's incoming split just bound to happen, according to fans and viewers of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian reality show. Apparently their fate was set in stone as far back as them tying the knot in 2014, according to many. Reportedly, the once powerhouse duo constantly butted heads in their later years due to their rising careers and demanding schedules. Words of Kim once stated, "He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't." This was back during the series finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where she cried during her confession. Ironically enough, Kim was also the one who filed for divorce back in February 2021. She later explained to Vogue that her reasoning for them separating was actually because she made the decision to put herself first. Quote, "Even if that created changes and caused my divorce, I think it's important to be honest with yourself about what really makes you happy." And while Kimye once held the title of star-crossed lovers in the beginning, Kanye is still intent on making their marriage work once more, even with Kim wanting to move on. Since then, Kanye had posted a number of direct Instagram uploads for Kim, with one stating, "God please bring our family back together," from a since deleted post. However, Kim seemed content with continuing forward, as she was soon romantically linked to and later confirmed to be dating her now ex-boyfriend Pete Davidson. I'm sure you know how these events have played out at this point, and if not, well, you're in for quite the wild ride.
And at number 10, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Everything about this couple was messy, from how they got together to how they split up. After a terrible and messy divorce from Jennifer Aniston, with plenty of cheating rumors flying around, Brad and Angelina basically confirmed that they were together only a month later. They then got married in 2014. The couple had a huge family with many children, growing their family to 6 kids, with 3 being their biological children. Then came their separation, where cheating rumors started swirling. Then came the divorce, which came only 2 years after they got married. One of the messiest revelations in the divorce was that Pitt may have gotten physical with their oldest child Maddox while he was drunk. But the LA Department of Children and Family Services later cleared him of all charges. Then they had many legal fights about money, where Jolie claimed that Pitt hadn't, quote, paid any meaningful child support since they split. But then it came out that Pitt had paid over $1.3 million and even loaned her $8 million at one point. And at number 9, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. The marriage between these two have generated rumors for years. More specifically, Tom's relationship to Scientology and how Katie fit into that world. Eyebrows were raised after the couple divorced in July of 2012, 6 years after being together. Throughout the relationship, many speculated as to how real it actually was, with rumors swirling that there was a lot of fakeness in the marriage. Then when the couple got divorced, they finalized everything in just 11 days, which I think is a celebrity record. Many think this was a testament to just how ironclad the prenup they signed was. And apparently a big part of the reason for the divorce was that the couple could not decide on how to raise their daughter Suri. Tom wanted her raised with Scientology, however Katie did not want it to be exclusively Scientology. In at number 8, Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. The relationship between these two have been discussed in tabloids for years, with many people exposing Kevin over the years for cheating on Wendy. The talk show host filed from divorce from the TV producer in April of 2019 after almost 22 years of marriage. This came after it was revealed that Kevin Hunter got his mistress pregnant. Wendy spoke about the divorce in an interview where she said, quote, "Kevin had a major indiscretion and he will have to deal with that for the rest of his life. An indiscretion that I will not deal with. Never thought that I would be in this position." The divorce has not only been hard on Wendy, but sadly on their son as well, Kevin Hunter Jr.
At number 7, we have actor Tom Cruise and actress Katie Holmes. Now these two were somewhat of a wreck just waiting to happen according to just about everybody. As soon as they went public with their love back in 2005, the public was already expecting a breakup to take place between the two of them. It was said to be mainly due to their age difference, but there were also loads of smaller issues that most likely played a huge part in their romantic demise. For one, Tom was 14 years Katie's senior, and there was the biggest and probably least surprising Scientology mess. Where Katie was brought up as a Catholic, Tom was heavily devoted to the practice of Scientology, which has its own slew of bad rumors and unethical practices and brainwashing techniques attached to its name. Then there was the fact that both Tom and Katie were at two very different places in their career at the time, which inevitably doomed their relationship from the get-go. Where Tom was a megastar hitting all the biggest screens, Katie was just up and coming as an actress. Surprisingly enough, their marriage remained intact for 6 whole years, but on the opposite end, no one was quite shocked to see it go. At number 6, we have former lovebirds from the 2nd season of the reality series Love is Blind. Featured stars Danielle Rule and Nick Thompson are reportedly calling their marriage quit after a single year of being together. According to news sources that were scoped from multiple online documents, Danielle filed for divorce in Illinois on August 15th at the Cook County Circuit Court. The once seemingly happy duo met and fell in love on Netflix's dating show and went on to tie the knot in June 2021. Their season finale wedding was featured in the show, which was released in February of this year. However, they haven't publicly confirmed their split when news sources originally made the discovery and began publishing their stories. More so, Danielle is still listed as a Thompson in her Instagram bio and handle. On June 8th, the couple posted sweet tributes on Instagram to mark the celebration of their 1-year wedding anniversary, so things seemed okay at that time. In fact, Nick's post featured an image of him and Danielle at their wedding, with an explanation that although marriages broadcasted on TV are tough, he and Danielle are, quote, putting in the work to get to know each other and learn how to be partners for one another. The former spouses were the only pair of the two couples on season 2 of Love is Blind to end up tying the knot, as the opposite duo Ayana and Jarrett announced their plans to divorce just a few days after Danielle filed for her own separation paperwork, ironically enough. Many LIB fans were initially disappointed to know that these couples broke up, as season 1 couples Lauren and Cameron and Amber and Matthew are still together to this day. At number 5, we have the queen of pop Britney Spears and her ex-husband Kevin Federline. I think it's safe to say that once Britney first made the announcement that she would be walking down the aisle with her former backup dancer turned lover, the world seemingly knew they'd be a disaster waiting to crash. But people were surprised when Britney and Kevin began having children together. Still, fans were wickedly anticipating a divorce announcement from Britney and Kevin at the time. Their relationship lasted a brief 2 years before Britney apparently blindsided Kevin with her filing for divorce. However, supporters of the pop star weren't nearly as disturbed by it, of course. At number 4, we have previous Keeping Up with the Kardashian love stars Kris Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner, who formerly went by Bruce Jenner back when they were married. One thing I can tell you for sure is that at the beginning, their relationship seemed picture perfect. They had the typical solid match made in heaven type of romance, apparently, but this soon changed as Kris began growing more and more successful, with their family becoming just as famous. This is where Kris and the previously Bruce's relationship would experience major change. By the time the reality show hit its 4th season, it appeared Kris and Caitlyn couldn't really stand to be around each other. However, in probably the most surprising feat on today's list, both reality stars managed to make it all the way to season 8 before they finally put a wrap on their marriage. Still, this one was deemed by fans worldwide to be a marriage destined for failure for a long time coming.
And at number 2, Jessica Simpson and Nick Leahy. Jessica and Nick were the it couple of the early 2000s. They got married in 2002 after 3 years of dating and showcased their short-lived marriage on a reality TV show before it quickly ended in 2006. The show was called Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica. Leahy even admitted on the show that they didn't know much about each other when they got married, and they would clash over things in the show constantly. And by the third and final season, it was pretty much clear that they were going to be breaking up. Nick said about the show after, quote, "It was among the dumber ideas I think I've ever seen executed. It got to a place where it was so invasive, so it became a problem." In at number 1, Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe. These two got together and had children when they were really young. They met at Reese's 21st birthday party and they got engaged shortly after. The pair got married in 1999 and Reese got pregnant before their wedding as well. In 2002, the couple started having problems and went to couples therapy to try and fix it. But when that didn't work, they divorced in 2006. The couple admitted their age was a huge factor in the split. In 2017, Reese spoke on the split, saying, quote, "I got married when I was 23 and I had 2 kids by the time I was 27. So I don't know, sometimes it's good to know yourself." She says that she would not change things, but she now tells her daughter that 25 is when you really start to know yourself.
At number 10, we have Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. After 18 months of a legal battle back and forth, rapper and producer Dr. Dre was finally able to finalize his divorce from Nicole Young with a $100 million settlement. Under the terms of the settlement, Nicole would get $50 million immediately and another $50 million in 1 year after. However, Nicole would not be eligible for spousal support, and Nicole would also be able to leave the marriage with all of her jewelry as well as 4 vehicles, which included a Rolls Royce, Range Rover, Escalade, and a Spider motorcycle. Nicole was required to move out of the Malibu beach home that she was currently living in, and she had to pay her own legal fees under the agreement. Dr. Dre, who is worth more than $820 million, will keep a large sum of his wealth, including his master recordings, trademarks, and interest in various partnerships and trust. He also was able to retain all of his Apple stocks, which included all of the proceeds from his sales of Beats by Dre, which Apple bought back in 2014 for $3 billion. The musician was also able to keep 6 of the vehicles and 7 of the couple's properties. Nicole initially filed for divorce in 2020, citing a that led to her PTSD, and Dre has since denied the allegations. At number 9, we have Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. After being married for 27 years, the couple split due to the fact they believed that they couldn't grow as a couple into the next phase of their lives. Now, court documents did show that the two had a private separation agreement in place, but not a prenup. Since the two shared so much of their professional life together, untangling their assets definitely became a complicated process. The couple had several properties, and Bill had a net worth of around $152 billion prior to the divorce, meaning he and Melinda could now each be only worth $76 billion. The couple also shares a handful of luxury planes and cars, and they run their namesake foundation, which is worth more than $40 billion. Now, both have agreed to continue to work together at the foundation as they continue its mission of helping people around the world lead healthy, productive lives. If you're liking this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos. Jeff and Mackenzie's divorce settlement is the largest divorce settlement in history to ever occur. When the divorce settlement was made official, Jeff had to hand over a 4% stake in Amazon, and he also had to transfer Amazon shares worth $38 billion into Mackenzie's name. Now, Mackenzie is an author, and she's now become the 4th richest woman and has already promised to give away at least half of her fortune. Now, despite handing over a vast sum of money, Jeff will still remain the world's richest individual with a $118 billion fortune. He has also given $2 billion of his wealth to Bezos' Day One fund to help address homelessness and improve education for children in low-income families. Jeff's also congratulated his former wife in a tweet, linking her Given Pledge letter, which encourages the world's richest people to commit to giving away at least half of their wealth to charity.
And at number 7, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. You guys already know about this train wreck, but I will sum it up for those of you that don't. Depp and Heard first met in 2009 on the set of The Rum Diary, which they starred in together. They married in 2015 in a private ceremony, but Heard filed for divorce only a year later after publicly accusing Johnny Depp of harming her. In the years that followed, the two were embroiled in a multi-year court battle that exposed tons of things about the relationship. Firstly, we learned that Amber had been verbally and physically harmful to Johnny in their relationship, which raised tons of questions about the legitimacy of her accusations. Then we learned that she would do insane things to test Johnny's temper, like once where she defecated in their bed, which the maid found later. Sadly, as of now, it seems that Amber is winning all their battles in court, but hopefully the truth will come out. And at number 6, Kristin Cavallari and Cutler. Cavallari and Cutler announced their plans to separate via Instagram in April of 2020 after marrying in 2013. Cutler listed their date of separation as April 21st of 2020, while Cavallari stated that their relationship ended on April 7th, which made the legal proceedings even more drawn out. The split seemed like it was nasty from the start, but things got worse when Cavallari accused Cutler of, quote, inappropriate marital conduct in the divorce filing, aka cheating. Then Cutler requested joint custody of their kids while Cavallari wanted sole custody. During the messy divorce, a source said, quote, the word around Nashville is that they really just don't like each other anymore. They would accuse each other of cheating, but nothing really solid. They were both very stubborn and bump heads a lot. Neither backs down. And apparently before the split, the two were fighting often. In at number 4, Yolanda Foster and David Foster. If any of you guys watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know what a mess this relationship was. The pair tied the knot in November of 2011, and from what we saw on the show, Yolanda was a loving and caring wife who put her husband first. She was even criticized on the show for how much she did for David. However, in early 2012, she was diagnosed with Lyme disease and was not herself for many years after, with the disease taking a toll on her physical and mental capacity. In 2015, the couple divorced, and Yolanda revealed on the show how blindsided that she was by everything, with her speaking openly about how she believes her medical condition was the reason for the split. One source from David's camp said after, quote, David and his family think Yolanda just loved the attention of being sick. They believe she's exaggerating her conditions, and they point out that she's never gotten a legit diagnosis or a second or third opinion.
At number 3, we have Harrison Ford and Melissa Matheson. Now, Harrison Ford and Melissa have been divorced now for 2 decades. However, their divorce still remains one of Hollywood's most expensive divorces. Now, the couple decided to part ways ultimately because they thought that the absence would make their hearts grow fonder for each other. And after being married for 21 years, Melissa would file for a divorce in 2001. Since the couple never arranged a prenup agreement when they wed, there was a 3-year-long battle before they were able to reach a settlement. In 2004, Melissa would be awarded $85 million, and she would also be able to receive part of Harrison's future earnings from Indiana Jones and the Fugitive sales. At number 2, we have Adele and Simon Konecki. Now, Adele and Simon's divorce had to be one of the messiest and unfair divorces Hollywood has ever seen for a while. Who can forget that photo of Adele screaming at Simon in tears when he took almost all of her money? When Adele finalized her divorce from Simon, she would have to pay the CEO a settlement of $140 million out of her $190 million net worth. Of course, when this news came to light, a lot of men were stoked at the prospect of Adele having to hand over $100 million and said Simon deserved the large amount. However, considering women are still paid less than men in most workplace settings, the fact that Adele had to fork over 2/3 of her hard-earned fortune is insane. What Adele's divorce has taught us is that no money is ever safe in a marriage. If you're a celebrity or a billionaire and you're thinking about getting married, make sure you get that prenup ready. At number 1, we have Princess Diana and King Charles. Now, it's no lie that Diana lost a lot when her time as a royal came to an end. When the royal marriage dissolved, it's clear that even princesses don't always have their fairy tale ending. After the two announced their separation in 1992, Queen Elizabeth would strip Diana's royal titles at the behalf of Charles' insistence, and Diana would then need to curtsy to anybody in the royal family, and this included her sons. Despite losing her royal title, Diana did gain some money. Now, neither side officially disclosed details of anything Diana would get. However, a newspaper would later leak that Diana would receive $22.5 million plus another $600,000 salary a year to pay for her private office.